Hello everyone and welcome to another street food video. We will visit the Mangwon Market, Seoul, South Korea, to see how rice cakes are made from start to finish. Many things can be added to the rice cakes, so we will see how 3 different kinds are made. These are red beans roasting over a gas flame. Just kidney beans to be added to one type. Rice cake dough is made with several steps. The reason? It is different colors depending on what is added to it. The green here is mugwort paste, made when the rice was ground with mugworts. Or sesuk, which is an aromatic herb with a slightly minty taste. It has many health benefits and is a common ingredient in Korean rice cakes. These 3 types of rice cake dough are being steamed to cook the rice and things added to it. After being steamed, the texture will be sticky and easy to pull, stretch, and shape. Another type of rice cake adds trail mix, or a variety of nuts, seeds, and raisins to the dough. It is then added to a pan with a layer of black sesame seeds added to the top and bottom to be steamed the same way. Another variety includes mung beans, peanuts, black-eyed peas, coconut with various spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, or ginger added. A huge globe of glutinous rice dough is added to the trays and separated very voluptuously. Now a bit about how rice flour is made. Rice grows in paddies in areas where there is a lot of rainfall. The seed part of the rice plant is removed, and this is a grain of rice. To make the flour, use sticky or short grain rice. Rinse it 3 times and soak it in water overnight. Strain and let it dry a bit. Add it to a blender or food processor and mix for around 3 to 4 minutes. It is now a fine powder they call flour. Sift to make sure you get the finest of grains. All that must be done to turn it into dough is to steam it, and it will absorb the water and become slightly denatured or gently cooked. Adding just a teaspoon of cornstarch and salt to a liter of flour will make the dough more oozy like it is here. This reminds me of that movie The Blob, where a creature looking much like this kept rolling around and eating people until it got bigger and bigger. But quickly, we will make beautiful little cakes out of this mugwort dough before anything like that can happen. The dough is better after being left to sit in a cool place or stored in a refrigerator for a few hours. Automation makes these rice balls that will later be stuffed with things like halva, ground sesame with honey, ground red beans, black beans, kabocha squash, or a variety of other things. The purple color of this dough comes from adding blueberry juice or even purple sweet potatoes to the flour. The orange color is from pumpkin powder or gardenia seed pods. These plain rice cakes are ready to be packaged and sold as is. This machine fills a tube of plain rice dough with ground red bean paste. It can be used to hollow out a tube and fill with any other type of stuffing as well. These types of flat rice cakes with filling are known for their decorative styles. Stamps like the one shown here are used to put flowers and even words on. And sometimes elaborate molds are used to signify the family name or show traditional artwork. This store doesn't seem to be putting much effort into making the cakes beautiful. It's raining ribbon type rice cakes. This looks fun. It reminds me of my Play-Doh factory toy when I was just 4 years old. Sometimes rice cakes don't have a sweet flavor and can be used like a pasta to add to sauce dishes or salads. Now it is time to add some of the fillings. This flattened rice cake is filled with crushed sesame and honey cubes. These sort of look like clams, yeah? The balls we saw earlier have most of their flavorings in the dough. As the man cuts them open, we see they are filled with nothing, but the sweet liquid has flowed into the center. Finely ground peanut powder is placed over this chunk of plain rice cake. The dough is covered with it. Then it's sliced, increasing the surface area so the powder covers the whole thing. Even the mugwort dough is covered with peanut powder. This is one of my favorites. I love anything peanut. Peanuts rule. The flat layered cakes are ready. The black sesame seed thin cakes. This tray flipped over shows a cornucopia of things added. Can you identify all of them? Squash, black-eyed peas, red beans, mung beans, and the long orange things could be yams or even carrots. The whitish circles? Well, your guess is as good as mine. These can be layered with anything. They're really getting creative here, adding beans and crushed fruit powder. It said 3 types of rice cakes, but it seemed like a dozen. While shopping, I love to chew on Garatok, the cylinder plain white cake seen here. Rice cakes are good with nothing in them too. Working at this store looks like fun. All the machines and conveyor belts must be a blast to work with. Prices vary on the items sold, but a tray of the stuffed or layered ones goes for $4 US. All these are easy to make at home with the ingredients sold in most stores. I hope you're hungry now because I know I am. On another tour today, behold the mighty coconut, one of the most fascinating fruits. Today, we will go to the Mahana Fruit Street in Bangkok near Chinatown to see how they make the coconut jelly dessert from start to finish. Coconuts grow in the tropics because it takes intense direct sunlight to make such a tough and nutrient-rich seed. Indonesia is the biggest producer of coconuts, followed by the Philippines. In Thailand, many coconut harvesters have their own monkey, who they put on a rope and have the monkey climb the tree to knock down the fruit. They're trained to recognize the ripe ones. They are usually sold with just their tops cut off and a straw so you can drink the milk. They cost around 20 baht, or half a US dollar. Did you know falling coconuts kill 10 times more people than do sharks each year? But still, I'd rather die by the coconut. In the alley behind the store, a man cuts away the outermost layer to get at the coconut seed. It seems like a lot of the fruit is wasted. But this ectoderm of the stone fruit can be burned as a fuel, and the smoke acts as a natural mosquito repellent. Finally, they hit some fibers and have reached the next layer. A sander is needed to remove the outer fibrous layer and expose the brown endocarp. These coconuts are young, about a year, so their inner layer isn't brown yet. They naturally float in the water, which is important for the next step. These are cut so precisely and filed smoothly because the presentation container of the jelly dessert can also serve as a souvenir coconut glass afterwards. If cut and cleaned properly, the coconut makes a nice bowl and is often decorated and sold in shops. Soaked and softened, just a few taps, and the top comes off easily with the knife. It is full of its milk, which in and of itself is a high-calorie energy drink. The coconut milk will be heated with agar gelatin, sold in all stores near the jello and sugar. Agar comes from the polysaccharides in the cell wall of red algae, primarily from the family Gelidiaceae. Slow heat it, but not to the boiling point. Around 70 degrees Celsius is fine for just 2 to 3 minutes. As the agar, sugar, and coconut is heating, cut the tops off the coconut so they are even. Using a coconut slicer, remove the curls of white meat from the tops and sides so only the woody shell remains. It's okay to leave a little behind. When the gelatin is ready, it will be poured in. And these fruit pieces will become part of the matrix of the dessert. Interestingly, you cannot judge a coconut by its shell. Some that seem large have a thin covering of fruit meat inside. You won't know until you open them. So here, the woman is adding more from the other coconuts to make sure everyone gets an even amount. A cup of the coconut milk mixed with gelatin and sugar is added to each. All that's left now to do is seal them to keep out any bugs or harmful things in the air. Put the logo sticker on. Feed the baby. Then place it in a cool area or refrigerator. The agar will harden just like Jell-O does as it cools, about 3 to 5 hours, and it will keep for up to a week if refrigerated. When the customers, who are mostly tourists, walk by as they shop in the market, simply open them, put in a spoon, and collect your 50 baht. These sell for $1.50, and you can keep it to use as a decoration. If you like this video and would like to see more, please subscribe to the channel to be notified about when our next food video is posted. Bon appetit!